Well, we're heading back. We're about 60 miles south of Deadhorse. You can see the weather is, well, it is what it is. Wouldn't mind it so much, but it's a little bit warm. It's not cold enough. So I'm hoping we don't run into any ice. I got 2 stacks of empty pallets in the nose, my electric jack, and I got my bulkhead up there. So my squeeze gauge is at about 30. So that's better than being totally empty. Get some speed up through these hills. It's snowing in Coldfoot. I didn't know it was snowing this far up. When I first came out of Deadhorse, it wasn't like this, but it went to crap really fast. I got a feeling it's going to be a long day and a long night. It's 4 o'clock right now. I normally eat dinner before I leave Deadhorse, but I didn't today. I just started heading south as soon as I got my last drop off. I didn't know what I was going to run into. Take our time, man. It takes all night to get down to the Elliott Highway. It takes all night. If we got to run 30 to 45 mile an hour, whatever, that's what we'll do. I'm not running chains, so I can, I'm running about 40, 45 right now. Slide down ice cut. We'll see what happens. this in the comments. I don't know if I've answered this on the video before. Somebody asked me what these little poles are on the side. Those are delineators. Those are so you can see the road in, you know, limited visibility, blizzard or something. Or got a lot of snow and you can't tell the difference from where the road is and where the road isn't. You know, that's what these delineators are for. This is the kind of weather that puts you in a ditch. Not because it's snowing. I mean, that's normal up here, but the temperature is like around 29, 30 degrees. I wish it was a lot colder. Most of you already know this will be my last trip. I'm going to Colorado, probably leaving Sunday or Monday, going back to work for a company I used to work for before. Of course, I'm going back to Texas, actually, to my home, but the company's based out of Colorado. I'll be working out of their Kansas yard because that's only about 3 hours from my house. But I'm going to keep doing videos. They do mainly the high plains and the Rocky Mountains. So the furthest east they go is Illinois, and the furthest west is Utah. And then we go Texas to Minnesota, Nebraska and such. There'll still be plenty of winter weather driving. Start a little later and the roads will be better. They'll be paved. Unless I go back to driving in the oil field and then we'll be back on dirt and gravel roads. But I'm not doing that, at least not right now. I have a lot of those videos on my channel. If you go back and watch some of my early videos, it's mostly all oil field work. Most of that comes out of the Texas Panhandle. Couple of trucks heading our way. living driving the truck, not doing a YouTube channel. But at the same time, I think there'll be enough interesting things. And I don't know if I'm going to stay out of here forever. I may come back up. I don't know yet. But I need to be closer to home for now. I'm not looking forward to making that drive 3,100 miles to Greeley, Colorado. But it is what it is. I could fly, but then I'd have to leave all my stuff up here, and I don't want to do that. So I don't mind making the drive in a big truck, but in a four-wheeler, man, it's a long drive. I do like the Alaska Highway, though. It's a beautiful drive. Won't see any bears this time of year, but I will see a lot of moose, caribou, reindeer, Arctic bison, mountain sheep. I'll never forget the first time I ever chained up. This was back in the 90s, probably the early 90s. We were doing a lot of loads up to the Pacific Northwest out of Dallas. And I got up there, got unloaded, and I went up to Wenatchee and loaded some apples. And I was heading back toward Texas. Anyway, we got over there to Snoqualmie. We had to chain up. I can't remember. It wasn't cabbage. It might have been Snoqualmie. I don't remember. Anyway, I had the chain law out. Of course, I had singles. I wasn't running these doubles. And definitely wasn't studded. You can't run studded chains down there. So anyway, I stopped in the chain up area. And there was a guy, it was a local truck parked on the other side of it. And I thought, well, if anybody around here knows how to throw a set of chains, this local guy, he probably does it all the time. So I just kind of stood over there and I watched him. And I said, well, heck, that's not brain surgery. You can do that. And I had chains and I had bungees. And so I went ahead and put them on, put my bungees on, and I lost a set. I think my right ones, the ones on the right side, I lost them coming down. I didn't have them tight enough. But, I mean, I learned. It was a learning experience. And the next time, I got a little better at it. And the first time I put a set of doubles on, you know, I got that done. That was a little more of a learning experience, but I got that done. And anyway, it is what it is, man. It's not rocket science. I hear a lot of guys, you know, wring their hands over it, but it's really not that difficult, man. Yeah, they do give you grief sometimes, especially if you got these traction tires. You go to throw a set over these traction tires, especially if they still got a lot of meat on the tires, and you'll have a hard time hooking that middle hook. My advice, get you some of those quick links. You can go to any hardware store, heck, you can go to Walmart or wherever and get those quick links. Buy you a handful of them. And what you can do is you can add links to that middle part. That way you can hook them. That helps until you either A, stretch the chains out a little bit, or you wear your tires down a little bit more so your chains fit a little better. But you get a brand new set of chains, or you got some brand new rock tires or traction tires, and you'll have a hard time hooking that middle. Sometimes you can't do it. You can hook the ends, the cam arms, but you can't hook that middle. So yeah, get you a couple, get you a handful of quick links and put as many quick links as you need in there. Get you some spider bungees. Spider bungees work great. I mean, you can use regular bungees if you want, but I like spider bungees, man. Now, I know a lot of guys in the lower 48 will say, well, if it's bad enough to chain up, then I'm just going to go ahead and stop. And that's fair, I get that. But of course, you can't do that up here. You'll be sitting here till spring. Late spring, maybe even into summer. So, you don't want to sit up here for 10 months waiting for the road to get done. But it's still a good idea to know how to chain up, because you could be on some back road somewhere, like, up in Washington or somewhere loading apples, and the sky opens up and it starts snowing, and you want to get back into civilization or something, find a good place to park somewhere, and you may want to throw a set on to get you somewhere, So even if your rule of thumb is, well, if it's too bad to chain up, and you're down there, I'm going to park, you still want to know how to do it, in case you have to get yourself someplace. It's a good rule of thumb. Now, down there you have chain up laws, chain up areas. Of course, up here, and I've said it before, you don't. There's no signs telling you when and where to chain up. You make that decision on your own. You do have to carry chains, but it's kind of up to you when and where you're going to chain up. Sometimes you burn out halfway up a hill, and that's where you're going to chain up at. If this is no better by the time I get to Adigan, I'll probably put on one set and go on up the hill that way. I don't know, we'll see. That's kind of a good thing. You want a good powdery snow. You don't want slick, icy snow. Get out of the way, little birds. Get out of the road. Move, move, move. They just sit there. Run them over, but I'm not going to run off the road at the same time. stop up here at the top of Ice Cut, open up my gravity tank. I normally like to wait till I get to cold foot, but I burned a little more fuel this week than normal, with the trip up being what it was and such. Truck wreck here late last winter. Went off in a ditch. My understanding, the visibility was really poor. Couldn't see the road. Because I went in a ditch last winter myself. Well, I was able to get out of it, well, with some help, but we didn't have to get a tow truck. Once you're off in a ditch, just stop. You're not going to recover it. Once the right side of your truck drops off in that ditch, you're not going to recover it. Happens to everybody up here at least once. So minimize the damage as much as possible. Now if you go off in the ditch right here, you're going to turn over. It's pretty steep if you go off right here. There's some areas you can go off and you'll be alright. The same day I went in the ditch, this lady went in the ditch pulling a tanker. My understanding was she reached down to get a drink of water, looked back up, and boom, she was going in the ditch. She stopped. Like, oh, that's it. I'm not going to recover it. It's not going to happen. If you keep going, you're going to end up laying the truck over. Or you're going to go so far off that they're going to have to get a tow truck out here to drag you out. Whereas if you stop, you got a pretty good chance you can either get yourself out or another driver comes by and throw a chain on him and he can drag you out. It's not going to cost you a lot of money, thousands of dollars in tow bill to get you out. drag our feet, see if there's somebody coming up this hill. And if there stop and let them come on up it before we go down it. It's not much of a hill, but still. Yeah, I don't see anyone. Here, although I don't think there's anyone. I would have saw him coming down the hill, but still, you never know. No, we're good. Could be a four-wheeler. Could come over this hill. Could be a truck or a four-wheeler right in the middle of the road, spun out. So it's always a good idea, you know, getting into this time of year to kind of drag your feet before when you're going over these hills. Make sure there's not something. As you come flying over that hill, you know, when the road is slick, you won't stop in time, and you know, you're just going to make the situation worse. There's somebody halfway down, and they were trying to come up and they didn't make it. They're spun out in the middle, or they're sideways because they started sliding backwards. You're just going to make it worse. You come over there too fast, you slam into them. Do a video through here because I don't do a lot of videos through here because it's really kind of boring. I've done, I don't know how many on Adigan, the Shelf, Beaver Slide, Finger Mountain, all that area down there. I've done a ton, but up this way, I've done some coming out of Deadhorse, which is really boring because that's paved road for the first 52 miles. Not a lot through here, ice cut and all that. I mean, I've done some. US Foods guy behind us. Let him do his thing. Oh, he's pulling in too. Alright. Wait for this guy to go. Oh, he's having trouble. He's sliding. Slippery.
Rock tires on here. Have trouble getting going.
Yeah, I see that. I just stopped to switch tanks and wet a tire. I guess I'm not going to be doing any more stopping for a minute. Well, I guess I'll lock my... Well, let's see. I don't want to lock my axles in because then I'm going to have to unlock them. As soon as I start going down the hill. I'm going to wait a minute. Let him get on down the hill just in case.
Southbound, that is good.
Alright. I was going to wait a minute. Let him get on down the hill just in case. He had trouble getting going. I'm not having any problems, but southbound ice cut. Call it out. We're still going to drag our feet just in case. Even if I don't hear anybody say anything about coming up it, doesn't mean anything. Some guys are shy or something. I don't know. Or their radio is not working. I mean, or it could be a four-wheeler and they're spinning up the hill. Looks clear. Let it go some here. Ice cut. It's steep going the other way, man. Road's bumpy. Cold enough to make an ice road out of it yet. I really wanted to stay till spring, but I got to get home, and like I said, I got a job offer that I can't turn down, man. I mean, I gotta take it. I don't know, maybe I'm getting too old to be having my adventures. I don't think so. But you say that's when you end up dying, man. You know, you gotta keep at it, you know. You gotta keep having those adventures. Maybe they get a little smaller, but they're still there. I just saw a thing where Chuck Norris, 85 years old, just climbed a mountain. It's like 13,000 foot tall mountain. I forget what mountain it is. But I'm like, yeah, man, that's what you got to do. Now, I try to keep myself in relatively decent shape. go to Australia and drive, although they got them big spiders. Ugh. I don't do spiders, bro. We got tarantulas in West Texas. I don't like that. I definitely ain't gonna do them big huntsman spiders they got in Australia. That's too much. Snakes don't bother me, although they don't have any snakes at all in Alaska. But they do have spiders, although they're small. About coming up here, if you come up here and you get a little haul road experience, I mean, and you can always come back up, you know, and say, yeah, I got a haul road experience. Oh yeah, I mean, they'll hire you, man. They will hire you. If I was going to come back up here and live in Texas still, what I would probably do is come up here about mid-December. Or maybe right after Christmas. And then I'd work until April. I mean, it's only a little over 3 months, I know. But, or maybe I'd work through spring into the summer. No, I don't want to work into the summer. It's when the road gets rough. Maybe work till May, go home, come back again next winter. Maybe I come up here at the end of November, something like that. Just spend the winter up here. That's the best time to drive the road, really. It's smooth, you know, they pour water on it, let it freeze, make an ice road out of it. It's pretty smooth. It's good and cold then, it's well below zero. I don't know. trouble, I should be back in Palmer. I think I already said this. I don't know. I'm old. I repeat myself. Should be back in Palmer tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon. I'll spend the night in the truck, and then tomorrow I'll start unloading unloading it, putting it in my car, in my Jeep. Clean the truck up real good. Tomorrow's Saturday. This is Friday when I'm doing this video. Anyway, try to get out Sunday night. Maybe Monday. We'll see. And here comes oncoming truck. And slow down a little bit. I don't like having to get over to this edge. If I do, I'm going to slow down. Slow way down. I'm over as far as I'm going to go. This guy really needs to give me some room. He's got all kind of room over there. He's going to try to take as much of the road as possible. I'm holding my lane, man. I'm not getting over any further. That's why I slow down, because some of these guys, they just don't want to get over. And I get it, man. You know, you get a little paranoid, but I was over as far as I was going to. He had plenty more room to get over. I was over as far as I was going. That's how I ended up in a ditch last winter, because the guy coming the other way at me, and he wanted to take all the road, and I was stupid and let him take more of it than I should have. Here comes another one. Where I'm at right now, he's got plenty of room. There's no need for me to get over any further. He's going to give me room. Those delineators are in the ditch. So if you're right up against one of those delineators, you are in the ditch. I have had to get so close to where you could see a line through the dirt on my trailer where I actually rubbed one of those. That's too close. You don't want to do that in the winter, because you'll slide right off. wherever you're at, enjoying life. And that's great. was this flat all the way down, you'd be fine. Oh, here comes another truck. Road's pretty wide right here. Coming down a little harder. Oh well. We may be chaining up on Adigan. I'd really rather chain up at the bottom of Adigan than get halfway up and burn out. That would really suck. Put a corner chain on, you know, one on one side. See what it looks like. I'll wait till I get a little closer and find out from some northbounders. Miss you know, doing stuff outdoors up here, especially in the summer. Alaska's a very outdoorsy state, you know. Go hiking, mountain climbing. There's so much you can do. Of course, it's getting that time of year where you're gonna have to stop doing that anyway for a while, unless you get some spiked boots to go hiking with. Another truck. Places around the house to go hiking, so road for a while, man. You get tired of running this road, the same road every week. I'm not built like that, man. I like a little variety. I don't mind running the haul road. It'd be nice if I could run the haul road a few weeks and then take a trip down the Alcan to the lower 48 or Canada or something, and then come back to running the haul road again. But that's not how it works out, so. Wiper there. I can't get it to clear off the little spot in front of the camera. I apologize for that. But it's clear where I'm looking through. Video's gone on about an hour already anyway, so I'll probably end it here pretty soon. Anything exciting happens, I'll fire it up again. Although I hope nothing exciting happens. Hope it's just a nice boring drive all the way down. Anyway, I'll go ahead and end this video. I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. And we'll see you next time.